Welcome to another episode of Chad Sports Talk. You don't know, my name's Chad. Take a dive in the world of sports. And this is the NFL Week 14 pick and preview video. That's right, we're up to Week 14 now. We're getting close to the finish line of the regular season. As playoff races are starting to tighten up. Only one NFL team has been eliminated thus far, and that's the Houston Texans. I think this week, all four NFC divisions could be wrapped up. And if their particular teams win, then certain other things play out. So as we see the season progress, we'll start seeing more teams get eliminated, more teams get picked up, and see which teams will start rising to the top and which ones are just going to crumble under pressure. But before we dive into this, if you could, just go ahead and smash that thumbs up for me, give me a like. It pleases YouTube gods, helps the algorithms out, and helps promote this channel a little bit better. While you're there, you can also subscribe. I'll check my analytics. I have lots of viewers coming in. I love you all for doing that, but not many of you are subscribed. It doesn't cost you a dime, and it benefits this channel. Let me do what I love is to provide information and entertainment to you all. And I love you all, and thank you very much. And let's go ahead and review what I did last week. For last week's action, I finally stopped losing 7 games. It took me 6 weeks to get to there, but I ended up going 8-6. On the downside, my son actually beat me in the picks. He was 9-5. So we're just hoping to see that I get a little bit better than 8-6, and a little bit better than my son. Let's just go ahead and kick this thing off with tonight's action between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Minnesota Vikings up there in Minneapolis. And this is between two teams vying to keep themselves within the playoff hunt. Minnesota's being 5-7, still in the outside looking in, because right now the 6-7 slot is right now 6-6. So Minnesota's still deep in that hunt, and Pittsburgh still trying to also maybe make a run at the AFC North, especially the way Baltimore's been playing lately. So this is definitely going to be a very interesting game between Big Ben and Kirk Cousins. Big Ben's pretty much said this is his last ride in Pittsburgh, so they might go out in style. TJ Watt has been an animal on that defensive front for the Steelers, and he's on pace to break Strahan's sack totals for the season, especially since he was in the backfield and got Lamar for 3.5 last week. So I expect him to be there a lot. But the only thing I think that the Steelers defense have to worry about is Jefferson. This guy is just a phenomenal athlete for the Vikings. Cousins, his favorite receiver. And I'm sure he's going to make a few passes to him and towards the Pittsburgh secondary. But I think that the Pittsburgh front gets in the backfield enough times and disrupt Kirk Cousins, it should be enough to allow Pittsburgh to win in Minnesota. And we'll kind of see if this will actually pan out. Because I think Pittsburgh is one of these teams that are very interesting, and the road teams tend to win a lot more when it comes to the Thursday night matchups for some reason. It's just one of those weird little factoids when it comes to Thursday nights. You will see that trend continues tonight. Now we'll go ahead into Sunday's action, and when the first game up on the docket will be Baltimore visiting Cleveland. This is the Browns will take on the Ravens back-to-back, even though they had the bye week in between. And the last time they met, it was a turnover festival by both Jackson and Mayfield. And it was a very sloppy game until the very end, where Baltimore was able to edge out Cleveland. I'm expecting more of the same with these defenses stepping up. But the problem with Baltimore right now is their secondary is getting depleted. They have lots of injuries on the secondary, and so that should benefit Baker a little bit better. But but he may make stars of other players in the Baltimore secondary, so who knows? And when it comes to the Browns running attack, you got Chubb and Hunt back there, so they should be able to dominate that front line of the Ravens. And you don't know which Lamar you're going to get. Right now, he is not living up really to the hype. So this is definitely one of the things that Cleveland's going to take advantage of is trying to get Lamar frustrated, get him out of his sync, out of his rhythm, and that kind of deteriorates the Ravens, because the Ravens' offense is built around Lamar, and if he doesn't perform, they don't perform. That's what it seems to me. And their defense is starting to show signs of fatigue and injuries because, like I said, their secondary is depleted. So I really think that Cleveland will be able to get squeak out the victory in this game in the close matchup. Then we head to Nashville, where you got the Titans will play host to the Jaguars. And I don't know, just something about this Jaguars team, I'm not completely sold to these guys yet. Because it's just a young, a rookie quarterback, a rookie head coach. The thing I get this first season of hard knocks and bruises and taking their lumps. You got some good draft picks coming up next year, so I think next year should be a good turnaround for the Jaguars franchise. But for this season, Tennessee is looking trying to get their swagger back. They're kind of faltering around lately, so definitely expect them to try to dictate how this game is going to go. I do believe that the Jaguars will make it interesting for a bit. It seems to be their MO this season. But Tennessee's will be too much. Titans beat the Jaguars. Now, another key AFC West showdown in Kansas City as the Chiefs will play host to the Raiders. And I'm expecting this one to kind of go about the same way it did in Vegas. I think Kansas City is just going to come out swinging hard. Their offense kind of was inept last week. It wasn't really in sync again. And I'm feeling having the Raiders come in town will have them be able to retune that offensive engine, get it humming again the way it should be. And Kansas City should win big against the Raiders. Then we head off to MetLife, where the Jets are now playing host to the Saints. And the Jets are one of these other interesting teams. They have the ability to beat good teams. They did knock off Cincinnati. They did come from behind to do that. But they also have fits where they just are just like one of the worst teams in the league. You know, throwing balls at the back of the heads of their players so they get intercepted. But the Saints is one of these Jekyll and Hyde franchises that, you know, it's really hard to really pinpoint exactly how this team is going to be. Alvin Kamara looks like he's going to be back for this weekend. But they've already, Ingram will be out, as well as the defensive end Jordan due to protocols. The quarterback situation, Taysom Hill couldn't throw the ball, except to the other team last week, but he could run. And Trevor Siemian hasn't really been very effective either. I mean, he's shown brilliances when he started, and then he kind of faltered off. So it's really hard to determine how the Saints are going to kind of approach this game. And, you know, the Saints defense, once again, it's just one of these things, it's hard to really pinpoint exactly how this one's going to go. Zach Wilson's a very young, a rookie quarterback with lots of talent, who's had a shortened season because of injury. But I expect to see a surprise come out of New York, and the Jets will knock off the Saints. Then a huge NFC East showdown over the nation's capital as Washington plays host to Dallas. This one, on paper, looks like Dallas should just run away with this game. I mean, when you got Dak Prescott, Zeke Elliott, C.D. Lamb, Amari Cooper as your primary targets on that offensive side, then you got the Trevion Diggs and Micah Parsons or Marco Lawrence on that defense. Dallas is stacked to take this team to the next level. However, these past 6 games, Dallas has gone 3-3. They've done more passing than anything else. They've kind of gone away from the running attack with Zeke and Pollard as a double-headed running attack. Now, note that Zeke Elliott has not been 100%. So that could lead to some decisions to pass a lot, which then allows the secondary to kind of sit back, pin their ears back, and be able to cover better, because now they know it's going to be, the ball's going in the air. It's not going to be they're going to be on the ground, so you don't have to do that too much. As well allows the front to go realize running back's not coming out of the backfield, so go after the quarterback. So it disrupts the timing. And Washington defense has actually performed better since Chase Young's injury, which seems weird. But Washington's been on a 4-game winning streak, and trying to get, Heineke is just one of these quarterbacks that you want to get behind. He just, it's weird how this team has really responded to him being at the helm. And then Antonio Gibson has now risen as their star running back. So this is definitely a team that you need to watch out for. You could really surprise some people. And both me and my son are kind of in agreement on this one, and we're kind of going on a limb. That's right. We're going to pick Washington to knock off Dallas to really tighten up that East Division. I still think Dallas is going to take the division just the way they are, but I think this is going to be the wake-up call. This is the ones going to light the fire under Dallas to really lock down what they need to do for the rest of the season. But in order to do that, they need to lose to Washington. Then you had the Falcons visiting the Panthers. The Panthers are definitely not the same team anymore. McCaffrey's out again. He's gone for the rest of the year, so that rushing attack's out. And Cam Newton's not the same quarterback as he was before. He's been pretty bad. I mean, it's just the whole thing in Carolina is not going well. Not sure if Burrow's going to be their head coach much longer. He may go back to college. But, something needs to change in Carolina. And now you bring in Matt Ryan in with his Atlanta Falcons and his Swiss Army knife and Cordell Patterson. And I just think Atlanta should be able to squeak out a victory in Charlotte. Then Russell Wilson will take his act down to Houston as he brings the Seahawks into town to take on the Texans. And like I said, the Texans is just... There's a lot of things wrong with this franchise, and it's hard to really pinpoint where to really focus everything. Tyrod Taylor's trying his best as quarterback, but when you have nothing in the cupboard to really, help your team out, it makes it difficult. And the defense has actually lost some teeth, and Seattle is got that key victory against the 49ers last week to kind of resurrect their efforts, because they're only 2 games out of that, those last 2 playoff positions. So they're still in the hunt. They need to start winning, and winning a lot. And the best way to do that is go down to H-Town and beat up the Texans. Then you have the Lions up the Mile High to take on the Broncos. The Lions coming off their comeback victory against Minnesota last week, get their first W of the season. And Denver has just been Denver. Right now, Bridgewater is not the quarterback of the future. He's not going to be the quarterback much longer. I have a feeling Denver's going to make some interesting moves this offseason. But I really can't get behind Detroit. I've done this many times earlier in the year. They have the necessary tools to be a close to 500 team. But they always find ways to pretty much shoot themselves in the foot, trip themselves up, and not win games. And I think Detroit's going to make this one more of a game than what's currently going. At the time of this video, Denver's up 8.5. I do think Detroit will make this interesting. They always do. Even when they start getting blown out and they start making a comeback and make things interesting at the end, especially what they did against the 49ers early in the year. And so the Lions will definitely make this a close matchup, but I think they'll find ways to lose again, and Denver will squeak out a victory against the Lions. Then you got the Giants taking the show out west. They had this SoFi to take on the Chargers, and I think this is going to be Justin Herbert just going to have a field day. It's going to be him and Eckler just doing what they love to do best, to just beat up defenses, and it should be no exception. I have a feeling the Chargers defense will have fun against that Giants offense, which is just in shambles. Barkley is not performing at his expectations. Of course, he's been injured a lot. And Daniel Jones is definitely not the quarterback of the future. He's definitely a good, solid quarterback, but he's not that flashy thing that I think the Giants need. And I think the Chargers should have no issues handling the G-men. Then we have an interesting showdown between the 49ers and Bengals going at it in Cincinnati. And it's Bengals got a rebound from their disappointing performance last week against the Chargers. I mean, they got down 24-0, and they keep storming back to get within 2, and then just let it fall apart from them again. The Bengals got to be a solid team throughout the game, and not just a stretch of coming back and then falling short and just let it go away. Part of it was some weird passes that didn't quite go the way Burrow and Chase wanted. I mean, there was one at Chase. If he would have caught that, it would have been in the end zone, but tipping it up and get intercepted. So it's just one of those weird things. I think the injury to Burrow should hamper a bit, and the 49ers defense is definitely good enough to kind of, fluster things. But I have a feeling it's going to be much like what the 49ers and Seahawks game was last week. Same thing with the Bengals and Chargers. I mean, both these teams got to come back from disappointing losses. And the 49ers right now in that hunt in the playoff. Right now the 7 seed, and Cincinnati's in there. And they're asked back, but they got to keep pace with Baltimore. And especially if Baltimore loses, now they got that chance to get up there with them and tie them up. And this is one me and my son kind of split on. I kind of see this one going either way. I really do. I can see Jimmy G actually doing what he has to do with Kittle. I mean, that's a dangerous combo right there. And that San Francisco defense doing just enough to disrupt Burrow and Mixon in the backfield. And that way Chase is kind of eliminated. But I was going to see where that the Bengals offense is going to be too much for the San Francisco defense to just roll them over in the air and on the ground. And it's just enough for the Bengals defense to attack the 49ers and disrupt their game. So I can see this one going the other way. Because right now the line is only 1 point advantage for the Niners. So let's know how close this one currently is. I think this is like a pick'em game. It's one of these games that if you got bet money, I will avoid this one. That's why me and my son split. And I'm taking the Bengals in a close contest. And then Tampa Bay will play host to Buffalo, and Tom Brady and Gronk will take on a familiar foe in the Bills. And it's going to be the same old song and dance. Right now, Tampa Bay's favored by 3.5. I think that's a bit low. Because if the Buccaneers just run and do those key passes to Gronk and Godwin, it's just going to be a bad day for Buffalo, because Buffalo has shown they're susceptible to the run. What New England did to them for over 200 yards. And I think Tampa Bay is going to see that and go, yeah, we could probably get at least 100 yards. So it's going to be Tampa Bay, more than 3, but they will beat the Bills. And then off to Sunday night up there in Lambeau Field as the Green Bay Packers play host to arch rival Chicago Bears. Justin Fields will be back as a starting QB after Andy Dalton substituted in for a 1-1. But it's not going to be much different. Justin will still be nursing some injured ribs, and that Green Bay defense is not going to treat Justin very kindly up there on the frozen tundra. And Like I said, this is Rodgers' neighborhood. He does what he wants up there, and he's going to have a field day with Chicago. He always does. He always will until he finally decides to hang up the cleats. Please, by the end of the season. But yeah, this is going to be Green Bay. Right now it's favorite 12.5. And yeah, that's about right. I expect this at least to be a 13-point victory. And then Monday night, the huge showdown between two NFC West powers as the Arizona Cardinals play host to LA Rams. This is the second meeting this year. Arizona already went to SoFi and shocked the Rams of beating them there. And the Cardinals keep winning. Even with their players hurt and out, they win. It is just amazing at what this team has done, the way this team is being ran. It's just next man up takes over the position, and that's it. I mean, they just continue steamrolling over teams. But they don't seem to get a lot of respect in the NFC talk of who's going to be, the team. Everyone goes to Tom Brady, which is Tom Brady, so I completely understand that one. And the next is Aaron Rodgers. Well, Aaron did beat Arizona. But they don't get Arizona anything because I think they haven't proven themselves really. If they knock off the Rams, they've beaten the Rams twice, and really solidified their position, and they'll take the West after they win this game. So I can really see that that this could be that aspect. But Stafford's going to look to try to avoid that. I mean, he has already over 3,600 yards passing, 30 TDs, with Kupp being his favorite receiver, and he really loves to have Kupp. His Kupp runneth over. And, sorry, another bad pun, but I had to throw it in there. But I can really see Arizona still winning this matchup, sweeping the Rams. Because right now they're favorite 2.5. I kind of see that. But yeah, the Cardinals beating the Rams on Monday night. Well, those are my picks. Let's see if I can try to continue this upward trend that I'm going on. I mean, I was 8-6 last week. Let's see if I get that 9-5 plateau. This is going to be, I think, the last week of the buys. I mean, this is a pretty late bye week, at week 14. So I don't know why NFL kind of waited this long to put teams on bye. They're normally done by Thanksgiving. But starting next week, you'll have your full slate of games. So it'll be a busy time frame. But anyhow, so like I said, it's going to be a nice and fun weekend. Hey, just leave a comment down below. Let me know which games you're looking forward to. That's Steelers-Vikings games tonight. Should be a really entertaining matchup. Same thing with the 49ers and Bengals. Even the Rams-Cardinals on Monday night would be really, really good. And I'd like to see that, Baltimore, Cleveland. I don't know about that one. But, hey. So let me know. Let me know also who you still think is going to take the Super Bowl this year. Like I said, my two teams are still in the hunt that I picked in the beginning of the season, so it's still possible. Only time will tell. And while you're there, like I said, you go ahead and smash that thumbs up for me. It really helps this channel out. It doesn't cost you a dime. Speaking of not costing you a dime, you can also subscribe. Once you subscribe, you hit that bell notification. Don't you know next time I post a video, it'll keep you updated every time I post a video, which is almost every weekday. Almost. The recap video for this one on Tuesday after Monday night, and I'll see you next time on Chat Sports Talk.